You are already seeing it as the first boss is Red Guardian, and what he has is that if the Red Guardian's shield fractures, he cannot exceed 10 seconds. Also, Red Guardian loses one of his shield durability every time we hit those who are matched. And while the emitter is charging him, his strong attack, well, basically it's going to stun us. It's going to stun us, okay? And also very important, if we hit him with a hard blow, we have to quickly throw a super attack to be able to prevent him from hurting us by burst. You are already seeing how the gameplay, how the durability shield is, how it has fractured us and has been stunning us for that very reason. Bullseye is one of the best characters to bring into this little mission for that very reason, because it will prevent us from being hit with the accurate sense that this green bullset has. Okay, two. What's a tip piece to do with this Red Guardian? Well, wait for it to have one durability when those disadvantages that we have are removed. They are going to be putting it during the fight, okay? It's a node that depends on it. Okay, you can throw a super attack, which means that the shield will fracture just when you throw a super attack, so that this way it doesn't stun us very carefully. Also, force him to hit us hard when we are close because he will be stunning us. Are you already seeing how we are handling the gameplay? Basically, stick and stick and stick until the ablative shield is at 1. What happens to us if we're at a disadvantage like you're seeing right now? That we had blockades, super attacks, we threw the blockade, the shield fractures, and in this way it becomes totally simple. This Red Guardian is actually a character that you can do with any character, but it is true that for me, Bullset has been quite top because you have the issue of the ability that Bullset has. You have seen how I have thrown a strong blow and we have that Derafa, so we have to be throwing a super attack to be able to prevent it from hurting us, as you are going to see right now. Effectively, and just that burst is taken away from us and we can continue sticking, lowering the fight. Therefore, friends, what I was telling you, this is a very, very simple character. It is a character that can be found with anyone. In this case, Bulse, I already tell you that he is the best because of that sense that he has green to avoid. If he makes us dizzy again, that he is going to hit us and in that way cost us our lives. What is another character that could work for us? Any character that does good damage through physical bursts. For example, Vox can be a piece of adoption or Sloud. In the end, there are many characters. This one does not have a total counter, totally direct like the following characters that we are going to see, but I already tell you that it can be done with absolutely anyone. It doesn't involve you with any type of character or anything. Bullseye for me is one of the best, and you are already seeing how we are developing it just when our shield is going to fracture. When there is one ablative shield left, we throw super attack, and since it fractures it, it would be that simple. Here we do start with Ghost. The next character in this case is There Is a Good Node. The defender is immune to demolition disadvantage apart from a failure can be set through a timer every 6 seconds. That attacker suffers a disadvantage of faltering what I have said. The defender receives 100% less damage if the attacker does not have 3 improvements, which is very key. And apart from that, when the defender makes a super attack, we have to be shooting him with a strong blow. In addition, Boss is immune to the effects of stun. In this case, for me, the best has been Vox, because let's remember that simply with the blows, we are going to be generating those improvements and we are going to be able to inflict saying harm to our little Mamacita Vox. In this case, the gameplay is very simple. It is true that we have to be very attentive to when the high attack throws us, because basically we have to lean back twice and keep the blow strong to throw it. Therefore, here a character who has a great opening of the strong blow is very important, such as Tiger, okay, in which we can avoid that damage due to a physical burst. Vox, why did I choose this character? Well, basically because he has that one. And Lancia, what he is going to do is, if whatever the timer you see under Vox's life ends for us, then we will avoid failure that way. You are seeing how to do it. We simply throw a blow, that is, the super attack throws us and we go back twice, we charge a strong blow and throw the blow to avoid that physical burst. Here we are going to make a stop in the video and let's see which are the best counters for me. I'm telling you, he is a character who must have a lot of openness in his strong blow to prevent him from giving us that physical burst, therefore he already does. I said in the video, Vox is very important. Well, Tiger in this case not, because it does not generate improvements. Forgive me, Tiger, forget it. Medusa, for example, who generates improvements through her Furies. It can also be Hercules with those better replays, although it is true that you require a little bit of character development. Also Super Scroll, that is, in the end, any character who generates 3 minimum improvements. For example, Odin, okay? His strong blow also reaches a lot, and on top of that, it helps him with his gameplay. Well, he's going to be helping us, okay? These are the counters, okay? For me, the best is Vox, but it also has that Medusa. Satan has the Dedals at the end. Characters that generate many improvements and if possible, avoid failure and have a high opening in the strong blow. So well, let's move on, okay? Let's move on to the next boss, which in this case, well, you have already seen that we have done it with Vox. It is very simple and we are leaving with Taskmaster. In this case, I am skipping the node because I am doing the Paragon Challenge and in the end, they force you to do it without selecting the node. We have Task, Master, Friends, Task, every 5 seconds, the defender has an indefinite fury upgrade. The defender has 25% attack for each upgrade and without a handicap gets 33% power. While he is close to the defender, he will be leaving us with a fatigue disadvantage. In addition, when the defender has Minino, super attack has an indefinite robustness improvement and every time the defender has a robustness improvement, he has 65% attack and his super attacks are unblockable. He is a very simple character. The only thing that this character is going to become immune to the disadvantages that we put on him. That is why we have to bring a character that puts passive disadvantages so that in this way he is affected. Let them say it's Onslaught Neuroshocks. Why? Because Taskmaster has his abilities that will remove his stop and any disadvantage as such of the nodes is not difficult. You just have to be careful with that accumulation of massive power. You simply have to force him to throw Super Attack 1, Super Attack 2, and you are already seeing how he becomes unblockable because he has that improvement in robustness. So here we can also use a character who eliminates those robustness that we will talk about later in the little pause, okay? Because otherwise you're going to have to play with the unlockable with tasks all the time. Master, any character that removes those enhancements or a mystic or something like that could also be working well for us. You are simply already seeing that Osla is also doing very, very well for you. In the end, through the neurosomes, the strong blows. In the end, Taskmaster leaves many openings to be able to give him those strong blows and in the end do that tremendous damage that we have with Osla here. Did generate a small fail as you have seen. The strong blow did not hit me and he has 2 super attacks and we did not put those disadvantages. So we pause here with Taskmaster. After master character, friends, what I recommend is that you remove those improvements from the character. Therefore, a mystical character may be working very well for you. Blackweed or Clairvoyant may be serving you. Dr. Dam may be serving you. Kusala. In the end, you also do damage due to disadvantages. But nevertheless, a character that removes the demolition is also good for you. It can be so many deadless. It can also be Medusa. It can also be the new Dark Phoenix. In the end, any character that takes away your robustness is to avoid the unlockable or directly that it avoids character improvements and also in the slightest case, well, a character that has passive disadvantages as is the case of Onslaught and that other characters can also serve us. So those are the counters for Taskmaster. We continue with the video, friends, as we are already getting closer to the new characters. In this case, we first have to fight against Sentry. This character has the different nodes when the fight begins, and every 10 seconds he has a 25% robustness improvement. The regeneration improvement that covers your maximum life is 25% apart. The defender otherwise cannot heal beyond what the fight has started. The defender follows an articulation that is every time the defender receives an impact since he will be able to have the characteristic of healing. Okay, in this case I was going with Bulse, who is a character who in the end does a lot of damage per critical hit, who we are also looking for, but he also has the node that I haven't had time to read. The thing is that when there is an improvement in robustness, regeneration, it will be unblocked again as you are seeing. Therefore, that regeneration must be prevented. If we act to avoid it, it is unblockable. If not, then we are in the same situation again. A character that eliminates that regeneration is what will help us burst this sentry, okay friends? In this case, you are going to see how the fight becomes very slow. In the end, Bullset is a character that does indeed have massive damage. He has good damage from critical hits and apart from that disadvantage due to bleeding. But it is true that the character of sentries heals a lot, as you are seeing on the screen at the end for each tick that is 25%. 25% life is being charged from that regeneration. It is the only thing we have to take into account. I'm going to Sentry's super attacks. Sorry, they are very easy to dodge. If you have problems with super attack 1, I recommend that you go to Voices super attack 2. I don't know why they targeted me. I'm going from Sentry to go to Sentry's Super Attack 2 to avoid that blow as you just saw, and you simply have to be hitting and hitting. Hitting here also what can be good for us since this fight is longer. It gives me time to tell you the counters. Well, for me, that being perfect against this Sentry is Warlock. Okay, Warlock, what will allow you is to avoid the healing of this Void. Damn, voice again, I'm sorry guys. Sentry got into my head. Is Sentry's healing going to stop us? In this case, it is not going to cancel it, but at the same time, we are going to be leaving high voltage disadvantages to avoid that healing. Therefore, for me, Warlock is one of the best, if not also. What are the characters that can be good for us? The Leader, for example, the Leader is a character that gives you those spectrum disadvantages to prevent regeneration. Can Hulkadeldes also, with his super attack 1, prevent your regeneration? Geo has 2099 with his super attack 2, prevent regeneration and reverses it, but in this case, as we are seeing, in the nodes, it does not reverse it, but rather takes away your healing. It is simply okay. But the important thing here is that it takes away your healing so that the fight makes us eternal, as is the case of this fight. Also, which character can be good for us? Apart from Warlock, he is a massive character since massive damage through disadvantages. It's okay because the disadvantages too, what they do, depending on the mastery they have, will lower the character's regeneration rate. Therefore, a character that has many bleeding disadvantages such as Word Point X can also be any Medusa. Medusa seems to be shining quite brightly in this one. In these boss fights, Medusa can serve very well. In the end, it leaves Screaming Armor Demolition disadvantages and many bleeding disadvantages. I'm already seeing that Scepter is not difficult. The only thing that is quite slow if you don't have the indicated counter, as is my case with this Bullsane. For me, Bullsane also works very well. What happens is that it is true that it becomes slower. So in this case, we end up with Sentry and the best counters for it. Now, yes, we start with the new characters of this May 2025. We are leaving with Yelena Belova, who I already tell you is not difficult at all. The only ones they have are these nodes that you are going to be reading while in the sun. I have a combo shield. Passive cruelty every 10 hits the middle of how we obtain a bleeding resistance of 25% apart when the attacker finishes a how of the same attack, since he will have the how meter increases by 30 of Hyelena. The FSO has 5.5% maximum power every time it locks us in the lock, so we are going to have to be blocking. And when the active defender is true, that 1-2 within distance makes us rooting. It is true that Yelena Belova is a character that you are going to be seeing. Her animations are with guns all the time. Therefore, we are going to have to be blocking any of her attacks. So in this case, for me, the counter that I have chosen to give to this Yelena Belova has been Onslaught because we leave Neuroshock disadvantages completely. Passive, and you are already seeing the gameplay as it is. It gives us a medium blow, an M that if we finish the combo in the same way, well, they will increase the Hyelena combo, and apart every time we give 10 blows, well, we are going to get a resistance to bleeding in this way. And Elena Belova has a lot of strength through hemorrhages, therefore a lot of care. You are already seeing that all the combos in this Hyelena are, the super attacks, or rather, are for bullets. Therefore, you have to be very careful with this character, and you are already seeing how the blows increase with the increase in Hyelena's blows. The more damage it is going to do to us, okay? Especially also because of the bleeding. But you are already seeing that with All Out, it comes out except perfect, okay? So what else can we give him with Hyelena? Well, friends, in the end, Helena Belova is a character who shoots a lot of bullets, as I said before, because Tigre is very good for us here in the end. Migra has a lot of hard hit range. It can be good for us to avoid all those bullets, both Super Attack 1 and Super Attack 2. And you also haven't seen it in the fight because I have stayed away, but if it had shot us, it is the Super Attack 1 or 2. Being close to her would be rooting us. Therefore, with Tigra, I think it would be the best character to give this Helena Belova, but a character that is resistant to bleeding. As we have already said before, Warlock may be working quite well for us, and the truth is that in reality, he is a character that, as you can see that he is totally attacking, is going to be an attacker. Defensively, I haven't seen her that strong. So rather, it can be found with any character. And now we are going for the last character, which is Cyclops. Here, I have a series of tips that I can give you to avoid the development of the character, because the nodes do increase its development whenever the attacker hits the same basic attack. The defender has an efficiency boost every time the defender has an efficiency effect, generates 5% of maximum power when the defender has reached for power or has an indefinite efficiency boost every 2 seconds. 2 each attacker are critical hits, guaranteed and even in blocking. And every time the defender has a stop, that is, we make a stop, well, he is going to take it away and he is going to put a load on top of it. Illusion, as you are going to be seeing right now, So what's the gameplay we have to be doing with this freshly dived blue team Cyclops? Well, wait for this improvement in accurate concentration to end and we can already be sticking it. You have seen how we have tried to make a stop. He has removed it and put the evasion attack on top of it. Therefore, be very careful with that. We simply have to be hitting him without any type of stunning. And as always in this gameplay, we have to force him to throw super attack 1 at us because we have already seen from the nodes that when he reaches super attack 2, we will have passive efficiencies left forever, and that will increase our damage. And it is very important to prevent it from hitting us in blocking because you are already seeing that the damage that Blue Cyclops does is quite strong. In this case, a character like Vox is good to be able to do a lot of damage in the long term. So that in the end, we are not depending on the blows. But in reality, any character can also be working with this blue team Cyclops. In this case, Vox, you are already seeing it as it is. He is shining and you just have to force him to roll super attack 1 and pass that pinpoint concentration. It is the only thing we have to be doing so that that deficiency does not stay with us and does not hurt us as much in defense as you are already seeing. It is true that it is a somewhat delayed fight, well desperate, because in the end you have to be avoiding a lot until that sharp concentration is over. And simply because with Vox in this case we throw sub attack 2 and we leave those massive degenerations and we do tremendous damage passively because of that. The same for me, Vox is one of the best characters we can give this Blue Cyclops. But what other character can we use for this Blue Cyclops? Well, you are already seeing any character as long as it is a character that does not enter high voltage. Because let's remember that this character, because of the node that I have not said it and I have not read it, becomes immune to high voltage. Therefore, any character such as Iron Doom is of no use to us here because we would not be removing its efficiency disadvantages. Therefore, not just any character. Fucking sorry, technological cannot serve us, just as New Rock cannot serve us either. Which one can we use then? Well, Thanos from the Letbox Medusa, any pretty top character, it is not difficult at all. Cyclops, so friends, with this, we have finished what has been the challenge of the Paragon in this case, which is the video. But these fights serve you for Rome, my thunder for the brave of the brave, because they all have the same. So friends, you like this video, especially the explanation of these boss fights. Subscribe if you are not there and see you other videos. Bye bye.